because it wasn't even detected. People would typically, children who had autism would get classified as retarded. Yeah, and that's about it. But last 15-18 years, the awareness of autism in the medical fraternity has also increased, in the psychologists field has also increased, and that is how at least there is a positive approach from the psychologists world and the parents side towards autism. Of course, we have Kinjal who will tell you all about autism, but why I want to talk to you is that autism is something that could happen to anyone's child. It's earlier it was, as I said, it wasn't detected. Children just got labeled as retarded, but it could happen in our families, in our children. It can happen to anyone, and key is that we are aware of this condition, because those children are not crazy. They are just different, and early detection and early intervention is the key to deal with autism and try and make the child's life as normal as possible. Yeah? So that is the key. Early detection at the age of typically 1.5 years, 2 is the best time that you start looking at the baby and the child and see if something is wrong. The development is not happening the correct way, and it's important that it is detected at that age, so that those interventions have to start at that point in time, so that the child then can go into a normal school, take normal education. The child will be a little different, but that's okay. But that the remedial sessions have to start typically at that age of 1.5 years, 2, when the child starts standing and starts interacting, all of at that age. And we have been, in the US also and in India, just because that there are more cases today that we see around, we feel that it's important that in this, our company, which is a young population, that all of you should be aware of this particular condition. It's not a disorder. I will not term it as a disorder. It is just a condition. That is how the human being is wired. Yeah? And how do we deal with that different wired child? When I say wired, differently wired in the brain. Yeah? And to deal with and understand, for all of you to understand what it is, we have Kinjal and Vaishali, you can introduce.
Yeah, so let me introduce Dr. Kinjal. So you sent a communication, and I'm sure all of you have read about Dr. Kinjal, but first and foremost, let me welcome Dr. Kinjal here, and thank you for reaching out to us, and thank you for organizing this session, because it is so important, and as Kranti mentioned, it's not a disorder, and education is so important, and to know more about it is extremely important, and getting to know it from the right person is all the more important. Okay, so let me talk about Dr. Kinjal a bit, and then we also have Shruti and Honey, and they are from kowrk, and Dr. Kinjal Chandra is from Pehel, that is her clinic's name. Okay? So a brief about Dr. Kinjal. She is pediatric occupational therapist and founder of Pehel Pediatric Therapy Centre, Mudund. Okay. And then her clinic caters to children with developmental disabilities like autism, learning disabilities, ADHD, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, etc. Now, her major achievements, and I was surprised and I was amazed to read. And when I saw her, it's like at a very young age, she's achieved. She's recipient of 100 Women Achievers of India, title 2016. So let's clap for her. And then she was also invited for lunch with the President of India in Rashtrapati Bhavan, along with other women achievers. She is also a recipient of Kutch Shakti Award and Yuva Ratna Award. So thank you once again, and we're glad you're here. And then it's going to be interactive session, So she's got a lot of I don't know, I saw this ball and I don't know what more she has. So she's going to be doing that for us. And then there's a feedback form which all of us have to fill in and give our feedback to her. Alright, so over to you.
Thank you so much. Okay. So first
first of all, thank you for having me here. Thank you, kowrk, for helping me reach out to them. And it's commendable what ma'am said, because she was like bang on onto many facts that she was telling you. Yes, autism is increasing at an alarming rate right now, and that is the reason I'm here. And that brings me to the first slide of my presentation, which says Dear Society. So what is it that autism wants to tell us? And it has to be heard now. It's enough that we have ignored them, we have secluded them, we have tagged them as mentally retarded or whatever. So now it's time to be aware. More than aware, we need to accept them, and we need to create spaces wherein they can be as independent and can live as dignified life as you and me, because they do deserve it. So how many of you over here really know about autism? I saw a few hands coming up, and I just want to know, what is it that you know about it? Anything. You can be wrong, you can be right. Anything. Someone from there said that I know.
Autistic people usually catch someone's phrase and they keep on repeating
it. Okay. Anything else? Another thing that I know is, there are extremes. If they catch a particular skill, they are either extremely intelligent on that particular skill, or they lack completely on that. Okay.
Hyperactive.
Okay. Yes. So we are all talking about how do they look. Anything else? Any idea as to क्यों है? Like, why is it that it is happening that way? Why are they behaving that way? Is it a mental disorder?
It's not a disorder. It is, as I said, they're wired differently.
Okay.
And when I say they're wired differently, literally it's wired differently in the brain.
Yes. So we are going to know, I'm trying my best to make you all feel what is it to be wired differently, which is quite difficult, but we'll try. So what I'll do is, those tables that you guys are standing near, uske corner mein niche, if you feel there is a velcro strip that are stuck. Can you feel it? Yeah. That is where there's one more strip on that table as well, and one more over here, this circular table. Yes. Okay. So feel free whenever you guys are bored, or you feel that okay, now it's too much, I cannot stand. Feel free to use that. Just shake your hand or just feel it. Really, I'm going to ask you all. So whoever is feeling it, do let me know. Okay. That is one thing. And another thing is this chair. Anyone can come and sit here. Anyone from the mains. There's a band stuck here. Okay, and you can just use that band any which ways you want. So anyone who wants to sit.
You want to do this?
Yes, whenever you are bored, you want to do anything, you can do that. Okay, and this can be used if any one of you all volunteers that whenever I am feeling bored, I can just do this. Okay, so this is basically fidgeting, and we'll see what happens. You can stop it for a while, do it, and then we'll discuss what happened when you did it. Okay, simple. Okay, you can really try it. You can get that band down.
I'm not bored yet.
Yeah. So just feel it. Can you do it? Yeah. Your legs are reaching. Okay. So let's start. Okay. So this is the first video. We are just going to see how an autistic child feels when he is out in the community. Can you see those lights, dimming and you can hear the sound of the girl coming tuck 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 tuck. Another person is coming, mama is doing something. what is it that you would do? The coin fell was of the equal intensity. Somebody coming was also of the equal intensity of the sound. The lights dimming and getting bright again and again, जो अभी भी शायद हो रहा है, but we cannot really filter that out. They are that sensitive that they can filter that out. So if that is happening constantly with you, what is it that you will do? One thing that you will do. Anyone?
Scared.
Scared? Yes.
Look out for help or scream.
How? So you will do this. He was constantly doing this. He was doing this. Anything else?
Run away from the situation.
Run away. There's so much of sound around. What would you do?
Close your ears.
Close my ears and run away and scream and just get me out of the situation. This is what exactly a child with autism does when they go out in a mall or in a marriage function or anywhere in a garden, and then there are people who are looking at them like this. Like, what is wrong with him? What is wrong with him? And we feel that they don't understand this. They do. They do know that something is wrong with me, and why are people looking at me like that? And this is what happens with them. Okay, so now there's another video. There's something that's going to come here, and I'm going to ask you all questions after that. So pay full attention. Are we ready? Okay. So it was a paragraph or a whatever story about whom? John and Mary. Anyone who missed out onto this, feel free to raise your hands, please. That's okay. Anyone missed onto this? Everyone could read John and Mary? Okay. What was the color of Mary's eyes?
Blue.
Anyone who missed onto this? Many. They took the bus. What was the number of that bus?
47.
Anyone who missed? Amazing. Did the bus take a first left or right?
Right.
Who says left? I think left. Left or right?
Right.
Who feels left? Anyone else feels left?
It is first left and second right.
It is first?
First left.
left and then second right.
It was right. Okay. Okay. So what happened? Like we all are all matured, grown up with mature central nervous system, working so well. Still we missed on to this information wherein I said I'm going to take an exam after this. So what is it that made you not come up with the right answers? It was going very fast.
Many things happening at the same time.
Too much happening together. Yes, too much of information. Anything else?
Too much of coloring, different colors.
Too much colors coming in.
And there was no common pattern as such. It was all coming from
all,
here.
yes. So this is exactly that is happening with them again. So you are focusing on the color, you are focusing on the balloon. Oh, okay, now some sentence is coming. So should I read it? Oh, by the time I read it, I can hear some voice coming in. I can smell something. I can feel everything with the equal amount of intensity. Then how can I filter out the things that I don't have to see and focus on things that I need to see? And then what happens is those kind of behaviors of flapping and running away, jumping, which I'm sure all of us will do if we are in this situation. So this is exactly what is happening with them. So am I clear? Like this is
Yes.
quite like resonating with you all? Okay. Now we go on to this. So there is this boy called Rahul. He's 2 years old. He does not interact with anyone. He will hold his mother's hand and take her to the glass to ask for water. He plays with his cars the whole day and doesn't respond when mama calls out his name. He is excellent at music and keeps on humming some or the other rhyme all day long. What do you think is a problem with him? Is he a child on the autism spectrum? No. Who? Okay. Another child, Ravi. He is a 9-year-old child who goes to school and gets excellent grades in math and is teacher's favorite student, being most obedient and sincere. He struggles with maintaining friendships and at times emerges as a scapegoat of the class. He is highly intelligent and can talk for hours about technology and Pokemon. While studying, he fidgets with his fingers and can't sit at a place for longer hours. So, what do you think is wrong with him? Or is he absolutely fine? He's restless. But is he a child with autism? No. Okay, we have Ria. Ria is 5-year-old girl who loves to sing and dance. She excels in school but hates to write. She has difficulty initiating a conversation but can convey her needs and discomfort very well. She loves to play with kids and tries to copy them and join them, but doesn't understand the rules of the games and ends up being secluded. This results in her being aggressive and pushes other kids while they are playing. Is she a child with autism? Yes. Yes. So, only Ria is a child with autism, others are fine, that's what we feel?
Even the first
Second one also.
So that's what we come to. All three of them had autism. And that's why we put this umbrella. It's like a spectrum. So it's like you can start from here and you can go on till there. So the symptoms can be the most mildest and the symptoms can be the most severest. But it is all autism. It is on the spectrum. That is what is called a spectrum disorder. Okay, so now we come to the major point. Autism is a neurodevelopmental disorder. It is basically you see three things in your child. So by the time the child is, I would say 3 months, 4 months, when you try to talk to them and they they kind of they smile at you, they try to track the mother, they cry when the mother is upset, or you're trying to show your eyes and you're trying to do all of that. So they'll give you that interaction, they'll look at you, they'll give you this eye contact which I am getting from each one of you all. But those kids on the spectrum from that early age will not do that. So they'll look at you and then again they'll look at you, that is possible. Okay? Then when the child grows up and suppose a phone rings or you are trying to call his name, example Manan, you are calling Manan and he's not looking. And you feel, oh, I think there's something wrong with his hearing, I should take him to a hearing specialist and check his hearing. But that comes normal. You feel that, I'm calling, he's just looking somewhere and he's not even looking where is mama. Even if I'm passing, he'll not even stare where am I going. So you feel that his vision is a problem, but even that is normal. Many a times parents go for MRIs, even that is normal, but that is still autism. So there are three things that you have to see. One is the lack of eye contact. Second is that the child will not try and communicate with you, be it verbal or non-verbal. Majorly, he'll tell you, I want this, I want that. But that is need-based. Whenever he wants something, he'll come and tell you. When he doesn't want, you don't exist for him, kinds. The younger ones. And the third is repetitive or unusual behaviors. Like there are kids who will keep on doing this. There are kids who will keep on jumping. There are kids who will look at their fingers and keep on going spinning like that. So there are reasons why they do it. So there are these repetitive behaviors that you can see wherein you can definitely have this doubt. I think this can be autism and this needs to be checked. So it can be your child, it can be somebody else's child, it can be a child in your child's school. Just have that eye that अगर ऐसे कुछ दिखता है, please go and see an expert. Okay. So what do you feel? How common is it? Like ये तो यहाँ पे पढ़ो मत. Like how common is it? Like really, it is like you have 1 in every 68 children diagnosed with autism these days. And the numbers might be higher. This is done in 2014 or 15, I guess. And in India, the registrations are not that much. I don't know how much of documentation might be happening. So if you
also, even if a parent is told in India that your child has autism spectrum disorder, first of all, it's like, this cannot happen to my child. This is not for me.
Yes.
So first, it's
They go in
denial.
denial.
And that denial becomes very, very harmful to the children,
Yeah, but
to the child.
there's a reason why they go in denial. There's a lot of
Social
stigma
stigma
attached.
attached.
So why, my child is normal, wo pagal nahi. So for them, autism is pagal. Anything which is deviating from the normal is mentally challenged, pagal. So they don't want their child to be labeled like that, so they don't go to the doctors. they are repeatedly told by the school teachers that there is something wrong with this kid. Still the parents don't come to us. If they come to us and I tell them, oh, I feel this is autism, they'll not come to me also. They'll go to someone else, they'll go to someone else. Finally, जब सब जगह से it's the same thing happening and they feel abhi situation is going out of hand, then they do come. So this was many years back. Now parents are also getting aware, but this does happen. Okay. So it is the third most common developmental disorder and it is increasing at an alarming rate. Now there are reasons why it is increasing at that big rate. So as ma'am said, that it was possible that पहले भी autism था, but then people were not aware. So we used to feel, हाँ ये either he is pagal or he is dumb or he is crazy or he is not interested in studies, तो जाने दो. Like parents used to feel बैठा रहेगा घर पे. We had so many kids in our school who were the backbenchers, who had issues passing and they were always promoted and you know those stuff. Might be they had learning disabilities which were never diagnosed that time and you know now there is a lot of awareness coming up. Now people also know there is intervention possible. Earlier there was no intervention possible. So people were not aware. So that can be one reason that now you feel that autism is increasing along with many other that we will discuss here. And yes, it does affect males more than females to a ratio of 4, like 4:1. Now why is that? They say, okay, this is all hypothesis. Some of it is proved. Because autism itself, there is no one reason that is yet proved that this is the reason why autism happens. Okay? So if in me, this was the reason, the same reason is there in her, but still autism. So what is it? So we are still finding that out, but still they feel that the girls, they have a higher tolerance for harmful genetic mutation. Now why do genetic mutations happen? All of us have got genes and we are constantly interacting with the environment. So there is pollution, there are dietary issues, then there are lifestyle issues that are happening these days. We are not sleeping, we are not eating well, we are stressed. So this results in subtle changes in your genes which is affecting the next generation that is coming in. So those mutations, when it is very minor, it will still affect the boy. But if it is major, it is only then that the girl will get affected. So that's what they say. And suppose you've got an identical twin. So the boys will show more symptoms and the girls might be normal. So this is interesting. So girls have a chromosome of X and X and boys have X and Y. So suppose the X chromosome that comes from the mother is affected. Now the boy gets the Y chromosome, but the X chromosome makes a major area for brain development. It has got the most amount of genes in that chromosome. So what happens, even though the Y chromosome is normal, still the child will have autism. The same case with the girl, because it is X and X, she'll get another X chromosome from the father and she'll be fine. But she can inherit and she can pass on that trait to her next generation. But that doesn't mean that mothers are responsible for autism. Okay? So what happens is, males are responsible for newer mutations and females will result into inherited mutations. So they say that sperms are produced when the male reaches the age of 11 to 12, wherein females are producing X since they are in the womb. So the more the age of father, the more they are exposed to environment, the more those lifestyle issues and all of those, the more genetic mutation and higher the chances of a child with autism. Okay, so like we know, autism is a spectrum disorder. Like it is a spectrum, it has got a spectrum of causes, it has got a spectrum of manifestations or symptoms. So let's go fast on this, and I feel this is the most important, but there are so many slides that I want to show you all. If we try to find out why is it that autism is happening, let's break it down into 2-3 parts. One is, let's go into what happens before the child is born, during, and what happens after the child is born. So anytime when the mother is exposed to any viruses like cytomegalovirus, measles, mumps during pregnancy, this increases the risk. I will not say this is the reason. Chemicals wherein they are on anti-epileptics, antidepressive medications. If the mother has diabetes, if the mother didn't take folic acid during the pregnancy or when she was about to conceive, and thyroid hormone deficiency during 8 to 12 weeks of pregnancy, and the most important, stress. The same when the child is born, didn't cry, was in incubator for a longer time, again it increases the risk. The environmental factors, the pollution that we are living in, the kind of food that we are eating which is sprayed by herbicides and pesticides. So the intake of that, lead poisoning and mercury poisoning. So how are we affected with that? The fish that we eat, if the fish is in the water which is contaminated with it, it will reach on to you, it will be stored in your bones, and it will be used when you are expecting or when you are lactating or when you have osteoporosis. So whenever there is this deficiency of calcium is when the body will start removing it. Okay. Now this is again interesting. So the genes, they have something called as genetic markers. So I never used to, I never used to smoke. Okay, I will not have that genetic marker of developing cancer due to smoking. I smoked once, I got that genetic marker. I will pass on that marker to my generations now. Okay, now I passed it on to my child. My child was in an environment which didn't put that marker on of cancer. Okay, he passes it on to another generation which will be an environment which will put that marker on, and he might be stand at a higher risk of developing cancer, and the same is true with autism. So this is what happens. So as they say, it might be here, it passes on to this, and then this one gets affected, and might be that is the reason that these days we see a lot of kids with autism. Might be our ancestors had those higher risk factors, because even they have lived in stress, they have gone through so many issues, and those have come now. So now it gets the situation very scary. We are all there with all those epigenetic markers. So what to do? Can we put, as the markers are turned on, can they be turned off? And if they are turned on, I'm sure the whole world will get autism. Because सबको ये सारे risk factors we are all going through. So what can be done? Like the markers are turned on, they can be turned off as well, with one thing called as oxytocin. Okay. Now oxytocin is a love hormone. The hormone and the feeling that you feel when you see your loved one, when you see a child, when you see your partner. So there are researches done that when oxytocin is released in your brain, the markers can be turned off as well. Diet, very important. Something that we usually take granted for. And the structure of the brain. They say that kids with autism have got a bigger brain. Now let's understand this. If I have got a bigger brain, my brain is developing faster than her. Okay? And we are both of the same age. I will learn to talk faster, walk faster, do things faster than her. What is she doing as a neurotypical child? The brain is developing. We are learning something. जो neurons नहीं चाहिए, the kind of you grow those. You do gardening, and then when it grows, you kind of prune it. So when that pruning doesn't happen, brain is just growing haywire. Then there will be a point when I will grow, and then suddenly you will start seeing regression, because I'm not ready for that fast kind of growth happening. So this happens with child on the spectrum. Now suppose I have to say raise your hands. I'll do this. So there will be neurons in my brain जो fire करते हैं. They will tell those certain neurons of my brain कि ये हाथ को ऐसे जाना है. It has a path कि ऐसे जाना है. Okay? What would happen if that path is like something like this? So it had to go here, but it went here, everywhere. So when I press a button and this light is supposed to get on, I pressed one button and so many lights are getting on. This is wiring. So the wiring is getting affected, and that is why you start getting those symptoms. Similarly, you have to reach from A to E. We could have gone like this, but we went A, B, C, D, like that, and finally we reached the point. Okay. Okay, this is again interesting. I saw a snake right now. It sends a message to an area of my brain, which sends it to the area which is responsible for seeing. Okay, it sends a message back to another area of the brain, which will tell you bhago. Okay, that is the basic thing for survival, run. Now, उसने क्या register किया? Snake देखा भागो. Every time we see snake देखा भागो. If I teach a child snake है, कुछ नहीं होगा, रुको. They will gradually get conditioned that it's a snake. I can use my higher centers कि if I am calm, if I don't run away, if I don't cause any harm to them, they will not do anything. It will take its root and it will go away. But what happens? This area, तो यहाँ से जो सोचने का area है, which will make me think logically, gets blocked in autism. So it is a cycle that is getting repeated again and again. Every time the light blinks, every time this happens, I go into that shock. I'm scared and I start running haywire. So this is what happens with them. So now we'll do one small experiment. Either with you or anyone else. I'm just going to talk and you are going to tell me which talk was better. Just 1 minute. Anyone who wants to come forth? I'll pick them. you want to come in? Come. Okay, I'm going to talk to you. Just watch me. Then when I stop, I'll start again and you have to tell me which one was better. Can't you feel what am I telling you? This is not something to be scared about. Do you get me or should I give you one? Now the next. Can't you get me what I'm telling you? I told you nothing. There's nothing to get scared about. You're such a good girl. You want one from me? Now you tell me which one was better.
Both were the same,
But still, what made you feel better? Which
The
one?
second one.
The second one. Why?
because it was in a calm way and you're trying to convince, but at the end it lined up to the same thing.
Yes, I got you to the same point,
Yeah.
but you felt better the other way, right? Yehi, if I am talking ABCD, whatever, baba, whatever, but if my body language, my tone, my pitch, the way in which I use my body is normal, the other person is going to feel calmer. Now, let's have a case of she being very hyper right now. Too restless, and I'm on top of it, I'm telling you, there's nothing to be scared about. Why are you scared? The light is fine, this is fine. Just be okay. I'm just increasing your stress levels, okay? The same thing we saw in that video, the mother kept on saying, are you okay? But it was like, ba. So what I'm trying to say, next time you see any child, for that matter, not just autism, and he's having a meltdown or he's having a tantrum, and he's just going haywire, the thing that is going to help them is your body language and your tone, not what you are talking. Language is not going to help them. So the way in which you talk is going to help them. Thank you. So this is my point. The same applies to kids with autism. Okay. Now this is another thing that we need to know. Then we go ahead.
Our brain consists of billions of neurons, specialized cells which communicate with each other. Neurotransmitters are small molecules that transmit
So this is about neurotransmitters.
across the synapse. In this way, they control all our feelings and emotions. There are different neurotransmitters.
So
each
every
having-
time we are agitated and stressed,
This, for example,
this one
is
comes.
GABA. By binding to his receptor, he creates the feeling of coldness and helps us to relax.
helps us to calm down.
This is melatonin.
It helps us to
Lazy
sleep.
guy, always sleeping on his synapse. He's very active every night. Makes us feel tired and helps us to sleep. But now's not the right time to be tired.
And you see your loved one.
Wow.
What will come? Oxytocin. Before
Now it's time for oxytocin.
and you are blushing and happy.
Oh, what's going on? It's adrenaline. I'm very stressed.
What if
frightened,
somebody sees me?
even
What if
afraid
this
of
one
jumping
sees
out
me?
of the
So you are
sky.
scared. Adrenaline comes.
Come on, adrenaline, relax. It's not a scary situation.
So GABA comes and says
Maybe our
relax.
friend GABA can help you calm down a little bit.
And you feel relaxed.
Thank you, GABA. Now it's time to enjoy and time for dopamine
And
to spread
dopamine.
happiness all over the brain.
It's party time because we are all happy. Yeah. So what do you feel if any of these, be it GABA, you call it A, B, C, D, any of it is missing, what will happen? Or any of it is not working in their right way? When I am agitated or angry or upset, GABA has to come and calm me down. Okay, if I see a loved one, oxytocin has to come. If I am happy, dopamine has to come. अगर ये नहीं आ रहे हैं, everything is messed up. If I'm agitated and agitated, वो बढ़ते ही जा रहा है. If I'm happy, तो I'm happy, वो बढ़ते जा रहा है. There is no inhibition and no excitation, nothing happening. This is what is happening in their brain all the time. So the neurotransmitters, as you call them, chemical लोचा है भाई, वो है, right? So the same thing. अगर I am agitated, GABA is not, वो नहीं आता है मुझे calm down करने के लिए, I will be all the more agitated. Already there is so much of stimulation coming in, and I'll go mad and I'll run away. Okay. Same. If I am too happy and I cannot control it, and I'm jumping, and when you jump, dopamine is again released, and you are jumping, and it's just going on and on and on and on and on. Again you go in a sensory overload, and again you do this. Okay. And this comes to the rescue. So that every time the love hormone is secreted, you feel happy, you feel calm, you feel composed, you feel secure, and that's when those symptoms gradually start reducing. And this is the most important, which I want all of you all to know. How many of you all know about gut? Gut is intestine and stomach. Okay. So what role does it take? Digestion करता है. Anything else? Stress आएगा तो shrink हो जाता है. Butterflies आते हैं. This is all dopamine, GABA happening. Okay. So what is happening here is having a result here. So if I see a loved one, I see butterflies. Okay. So यहाँ का result यहाँ पे आया. If I am hungry, I get agitated. यहाँ का result यहाँ पे आया. So this is constantly happening. So if anything is wrong here, this goes. If anything is wrong here, this goes. And in their case, ये constantly ऊपर नीचे हो रहा है. So what is happening is, when we are born, when we are in the womb, the gut that we have, the intestines, are sterile. There is nothing in it. Okay. When you have a vaginal delivery, the fetus or the child ingests the bacteria present in the vagina. So that is great for them to develop a strong immune system. And for those who are having those C-section delivery, they miss on to this. Okay, so it is not that they develop autism, but they again miss on to this important thing. So then develops your microbiomes. जैसे आजकल हम लोग बहुत ज़्यादा cleanliness freak हो गए हैं. हाथ दो, use your sanitizers, use this, use that. We are killing the microbiomes. Even right now, there will be millions and millions of microbiomes on your skin which are helpful. In your gut, which are helpful, which will help in digestion, which will help in absorption, which will help in so many other ways. But because we are not allowing our children to be dirty, to be messy, to go in garden and just play around, we are actually helping depleting their microbiomes from their gut. So what happens is, if your microbiomes are less, which is because of poor diet or autoimmune disorder, it will result in an infection and inflammation. Okay, when that happens, so this is the gut, okay, the intestine. यहाँ पे मैंने खाया, खाने के बाद whatever nutrient is important for me should go to the blood, and that's how it works. But what if जो ये door है जो open होता है for that nutrient to go opens and then it is left open, the undigested food particle will go out. When it goes out, the immune system of your body, which is the fighter mechanism of your body, will say, oh no, ये कौन आ गया? Okay, I need to kill it. So वो kill करने जाता है. Every time you eat, the food particle is out, and the immune system comes and tries to kill it. But what is it trying to kill is your own body. Every time the immune system kills you, it sends a message to your brain, कुछ गड़बड़ है, fighting करना है, right? And the brain again goes into that stimulated phase again. So it is a constant cycle that is happening again and again and again. And the kids on spectrum, it is like evidence we have that they have gut issues. So they will usually have constipation or loose motion, or they'll be sensitive to wheat, they'll be sensitive to milk. And when you stop it, the symptoms kind of gradually reduce. That happens with us as well. There are so many people who are gluten intolerant, as in they cannot take wheat, right? So this is one thing. So these are the signs that most of you all told me. He'll not make eye contact, he'll not respond to name, he'll not follow your gestures, he'll not say bye-bye. If you're teaching twinkle, twinkle, he'll not copy you. Now if I'm not looking at you and you're teaching the child, say twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are, how will he copy? So those things will not come. Doesn't play with other people or share interests and enjoyment. So if I cannot relate to you, how will I learn? Look, this is an apple. The apple is red. Okay, we feel the apples. There are so many things. When there is no shared attention coming in, how will they learn? They do not play pretend games, and they do not smile when they are smiled at. So it is like you are smiling and I'm okay. You are crying, still I'm okay. I do feel it, but I don't know how to express it. Again, these are the signs. This is the most important. Hats off, and we say hats off to you. It's just a phase. So you see a child or a person with autism or Asperger's, next time don't use such vague phrases. They don't really get it. The same is with this. It is raining cats and dogs. They actually feel it is raining cats and dogs. Okay. So now, I see many of you are doing. Okay. What is it that is happening? बहुत सारा attention pay कर लिया. Now either we are tired or our brain is telling us that my level is going down. So when that goes down and I tell you all, okay, now answer the questions that I told you. What is one thing that you'll say, ma'am, give me some break, I'm coming. What else can you do to prepare yourself for the question answer session if I have it right now? You'll recollect. Anyone else? Sorry?
Pressurize on the brain.
Pressurize on a break. Anything else? You are tired, okay, and I'm asking you questions, and I said after 5 minutes we are going to have it. What is it that you will do in that 5 minutes?
Sit down.
Sit down.
Get prepared.
Get prepared. Come on. Relax. Discuss. Okay, here I'm getting some good answers. Yeah. Good. Anything else?
I'll keep calm and get into a steady state.
Okay. See, I'll tell you, if I am standing or sitting for a longer time and I'm supposed to give an exam after that, and if I have a break, I will not sit. I'm sure all of us will get up, wash our face. I thought I'll get that answer. I thought somebody will say that I'll have a cup of tea. Yeah. Yeah. So what is it? And the basic thing that we do, which all of you all did was, so what were you all doing, when we are down and our arousal is low, body immediately tells us move. And when we move, our arousal comes back to a normal level. Not the same that it was. That is the reason I gave him this. So if I am not getting to move and I can just use that band just to move my legs, even that would do. When I do this, even that would do. But I am supposed to move. And imagine with these kids, their arousal is always low. So what is it that their brains are telling them to do? Move, 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 move. And they are doing that. And we are trying to stop them, which is again getting their arousal down. And that is the case with majority of the kids, not on the spectrum, normals as well, who don't get recess. The recess times are so less these days, so it affects their attention span as well. So this is what is happening. Okay. What do you see in this? First thing that you see. Alphabets, how many? Okay. You saw the smaller alphabets or the bigger alphabets? How many smaller or bigger? First. Bigger. All of us bigger? Yes. Who saw smaller? Yes. So you guys are visual learners. Visual, you guys can see the details in a picture, and all of us, including me, can see the bigger picture rather than the details. And that is how our brain is wired. For majority of us, we don't focus onto the details, we focus onto the larger picture. But with autism, they focus onto the details. And again, I will not say that you guys are autistic, but yes, this is how they read. So if they are playing with a car, they'll be more focused on the wheel and how the door is getting up and down, rather than looking at the car and enjoying the car. So that's how they feel. So if I tell you that we have to make a to-do list and we have to reach this place, okay? So majority of us will write it like this. I have to buy this, then I have to buy this, then I have to go there point-wise. But might be people on the autism, they want it pictorially, okay? So I have to go here, then I have to do this, then I have to do this, then I have to do this. So when it is pictorial and visual, things get easier for them. Okay, so now it gets me to the point that, okay, you saw all these issues in a child, you saw this symptom, this symptom, this symptom. Now you know why do they do it? They have this neurotransmitter chemical locha happening, okay? They have this immune system जो problematic है, gut है जो problematic है, okay? So अभी ये है, what is the first thing that you will do is you will have to go and see a pediatrician. The pediatrician will refer you to a developmental pediatrician who's a specialist in finding developmental issues in kids. They will screen you, they will ask you a few questions. They will ask you to get your child's blood test done, or vision test done, or hearing test done, and then they come on to a conclusion of autism. Then you have to start your early intervention, which includes occupational therapy, speech therapy, special educator, child psychology, and they'll focus on various areas where the child is having issues. Okay, now the reason that I'm here today. When a child on the spectrum, on the autism spectrum, goes out in the school, in the community, what is it they are facing? Wouldn't you, if a child is doing this, do this? Like, what's wrong? We do make faces, we do grin, we do, we do all of that. So they are treated as dumb, mentally retarded. They are judged and shunned away. That, oh, isko nahi aata, isko jaane do. Mera bachcha iske saath nahi khelega. We have seen kids jo school mein jaate hain, the parents are told that get him to the school before the school starts. And get him out of the school 5 to 10 minutes before the school ends, so that the other parents don't see, because they have issues कि मेरा बच्चा उसके साथ है, right? They are not called in any birthday parties, because yes, when they go, they are over excited and overstimulated, but there are ways wherein we can help them. So if I as a child don't have that opportunity to go for birthday parties, or to go for pajama parties, or to mingle around with other kids, how will I develop those play skills? And then we say उनको play skills नहीं है, but they are not given that enough amount of stimulation first of all. We are going to do this before we end.
To the right, here we go. Step behind step.
Okay, can we all do this? Let's see how many of us can copy this. Leave aside doing it.
Open, forward, pitch, forward, and back, hit, up, catch and boogie. Step behind, step, pitch, step behind.
Can any one of you try, or all of us?
Pitch, forward, pitch,
Come on, let's try.
back, pitch, and forward, back,
Do you all have space? We don't have space. So anyone, like few of you all, come on.
Sorry.
We don't do it. Let's do one thing. When I say it's raining, we are all going to clap. When I say it's thundering, we are all going to clap, tap or jump. And when I say it's a tornado coming in, we are going to. That's it. Ready? Listen to my commands. That's easy. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, start. Rain, 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 rain. Stop, 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 stop. Rain, 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 stop, 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 stop. smiles all over. Are we better attentive now? Can I have one more hour of session again? This is what brain breaks, movement breaks do to kids. It is an actual break that they need. Okay? Not just for kids on the spectrum, for us and even for the other kids. So suppose you have a child who goes to the school and you can tell the school that after every lecture that is done, can the teacher just come and just play this simple game? Not just run here spinning, but they can just do this, do this, do this. And you know, when we are doing that, again those arousal comes up and we are fit to attend better. Okay, so this is one thing that I wanted to tell you. What can be done as a responsible society? You know, this is a Google office. They say in Google offices, they don't have chairs like the ones that we have. They can sit on balls. That's the reason I've got this here. If any one of you all can just sit on this. Anyone?
You'll not fall.
You'll not fall. You can sit and do whatever. You can bounce. Anyone can just sit. God. Okay. So the point is, when you get to move, you are better attentive. So rather than sitting on the chair, you
Don't fall.
rather than sitting on the chair, yes. So all the time your balance is challenged and your brain works to keep your posture straight, and it affects your attention and your productivity again. So we can try that in the schools, even here. This is another office wherein the chairs are spinning. Again, it gives you that movement. It will not spin like that. It will just have a gradual spin. Okay. There are schools in the US definitely who have chairs like this wherein they can cycle and they can focus. And trust me, there are kids who do wonders when they are allowed to do this. The same is here. These are called ball chairs. Same here, sitting on a smaller table, something that challenges your balance. Okay. Now this is one thing. If you have an employee or a friend or a child who's on the spectrum, as I told you, they'll work better when they are given visuals. Okay. So in my clinic, we do this. First you have to get up, you have to eat breakfast, then you have to put your shoes on, put on your coat, put on your backpack, get in the car, have a good day. As simple as this, rather than saying, which is, I told you, language really does not get registered that fast. Okay? And I'm already having these issues. Example, my brain is overworked. It's like your computer getting, what do you call it? Overheated, hang. Okay? So I'm hanged and you are giving another command. I'm hanged, you're giving third command. Will I give you an output or a response? No. What will we do? We'll give a command, we'll wait. And then blue circle, and then finally we get an output. So this can happen in autism. They take that time to process what is being told and then give an output. So next time you meet a child like that or a person like that, give them that time to process and then give a response rather than keeping on asking the same question. Okay, so this is what I wanted to tell you all. When we started, it was blank. I would just like to read it. Thank you for taking your time out to listen and understand about me. I'm sure I'm not that complex and mysterious once you will make an attempt and take those few steps towards me. I long to be included as equal and responsible citizen with the respect that each one of us deserves and receives. I'm sure now I will see lesser grins and confused faces when I go to the garden, malls or marriages with mama next time. I'm sure I will have enough friends to play with who would consider me one amongst them with just that bit of extra help. I'm sure I will be given respectable employment with certain adaptations that now you know why I need. Sending you loads of hugs and oxytocin. Regards, Autism. Thank you. Any of you all have any doubts, you can ask me. There was a lot of things that I had to pack up really, precisely, concisely and give it to you. So anything that you missed or you didn't understand or you want me to repeat or you have any doubts, feel free to ask.
I have a doubt. So you know what, this child, the particular child, can we get back to a normal human being with the kind of treatment?
Yes. So curable. No, it is not. It is a lifelong disorder which will remain with you. It's like if you have specs. Now these days we have laser treatment available. But if you have specs, you will have it for life. The numbers will go up and down, the power will go up and down, but it will remain. The same with it will remain, but with therapy, the symptoms, the issues that the child is facing will definitely reduce. They will come towards that normalcy, but you will definitely see issues with the social mixing friends domain. Others will still get better. But if they are given these adaptations and the society actually tries and helps them, they can definitely do wonders, because oxytocin is what they really lack in and which we can readily give. It can be about your kids, because majority of things that I said is applicable to normals as well. So anything that you want me to tell?
Like in normal kids, like most of our parents are working right now. So say for example, my son or my daughter, okay, if I want to know if that person is suffering from autism, do I just go and get it checked rather than seeing the symptoms? You know, I might not see the symptoms, but just to be sure, you know.
You can get them checked and screened, but then the symptoms are very, very, visible. Making no eye contact, not mingling with kids, playing alone. These are very, very, grossly seen symptoms. And still, if you still have a bit of doubt, it is always better to get them screened. And nahi hai, to nahi hai. But the earlier you screen them, because by the age of 5 to 6 years is when the brain maturation, it is happening, but the speed in which it is happening reduces. So if we can make an impact till then, it will bring about a great deal of change, rather than coming to a therapist or a doctor when they are 7 or 5 or 6. And when they grow up, one child with autism will grow up into an adult with autism, and that's where they need our help. And the government is trying to help them. This year, autism is included in the Persons with Disability Act as well. So the government is providing incentives to private companies who are employing them. Definitely you need to have certain adaptations in your company for that. But yes, they are very good at visual learning. So if you ask me that which is the profession wherein they can excel, so they can excel in computers, in photography. So wherein there is a lot less of one-on-one human interaction and a lot of computer which is so clear, like ऐसे करोगे तो ये होगा, ऐसे करोगे तो, rather than human interaction which is so varied. I see emotions, I see people tired, I see somebody yawning. So my attention gets diversified. But when it comes to computer, it is so basic and clear. So they can work wonders in that.
In fact, I read an article, I don't remember which company, but in India, they've recruited 2 autism cases, and again it's the same industry, IT, and they're really doing well.
They are doing well, they'll be very profitable and productive to the company as well. Because they have this habit of an ability to hyper focus on one thing. Other than us who get, either we take,
You need to fill in the feedback.